Hello everyone and welcome back to turquesadot. This is Evie and today we're going to try to attempt a stained glass effect on acetate. So this is my little outline with the Americana 3D opaque gloss enamels, and I'm going to be using these three alcohol inks, which are the only ones that I have. So those are the ones that I'm using. The other three that I have are metallics, and then I have two enamels, but I didn't have enough color, so I decided to bring out the Bombay India ink to see what kind of effect I get by using both of those on the acetate and see if I can get my stained glass look. Now, I've never done this, so you're getting to see the results as I play on it for the first time. And thank you for joining me through my little creative journey with all of these different products that I've been wanting to try. And I'm just putting some drops of that alcohol ink, and I'm planning to just let it move around the enclosed little areas to see what kind of effect I can get. Hopefully it's the stained glass effect that I want, but we'll see. So now I'm letting it run, and it stays within the area if I don't tilt it too much, of course. And this is only a test piece, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm just trying to see the effect and the kind
It's
of...
4 o'clock.
Do we always get to hear the time when I'm recording? I'm sorry, the Mac just updates me on the time every hour, so you guys get to hear while I'm recording. Sorry. So now I'm using the back of a brush to push that around towards the edges. That way I could get more control on it. Not the perfect one, because I think that if I did this again and I wanted it to be a nice finished piece, I would use the front of the brush or something more delicate to push it, like a little toothpick or something, so I could get more control on how close I get to that edge without going over my writer. So again, it's the Americana 3D opaque gloss enamels, glass, look at me, glass writers. Sorry. And I'm starting out very slow, so you get to see the process of what I'm doing, and then I'll start speeding up as the steps start repeating themselves, because once you get the idea of how I'm doing it, I don't think you have to wait for me to do every single one real time. So that was the, let me see if I can grab it here. Now it ran away from me. I can't find the little, oh, here it is. It's the pink sherbet, and it's a bigger area, and I don't know, I wasn't too convinced, but then I poured in some more and I started getting that beautiful alcohol effect of splitting up and spreading out, and I didn't like that because it looked like another eye. So I decided to just play with it and added some of my India ink in the center of it to see what would happen with that. It's part of the process of learning how things react and how they work and what kind of effects you can get. You just play around and see what happens. So that's where that ended up. Now I'm going to go in with a lettuce. Yeah, and these alcohol inks are something that I've always wanted to play with, but I never get to do it. I don't know if it's because I have only those three colors, so that I'm not like drawn to them as much. It was really frustrating trying to get those and the Copic markers. I finally was able to get the Copic markers, but that was another thing that they wouldn't ship to me. online, and we don't have the stores here. So if you go to the scrapbook stores, they're very expensive. And the alcohol inks, I never shop here like for craft supplies anymore. So 'cause it was too expensive to do it. So I'm going back in now with the cloudy blue. I'm waiting for it to dry so that I can share with you at the end of the video what it looks like dried. And it's fun to see the two different effects that you get from the India ink and from the alcohol ink. They're just interesting, and it's kind of like I think I would like to make a project alternating both of them, because you get two very different effects once they start drying up, but they look good together. It just you have to play around with the way you're placing them. But I'll show you that when the piece is dry, and I can record the last part of the video with that. Whoops! Ooh, and I'll have it right next to me, and I almost dropped it because it's drying, and since it's a long piece and I haven't cut into it yet, I bumped into it and almost dropped it. So now I'm gonna go in full India ink effect and see what happens, because I know it's gonna be darker and less translucent. I just want to see the contrast of it. I'm playing, so why not try something here, you know? Look at that bright color. So once I did that, I'm like, okay, I want this red to be completely red and not have that little patch in the center. So I went back in and I covered all of my alcohol ink with the India ink. And it looks really, really bright when compared to the alcohol ink. So it's kind of interesting to see how they react to the acetate and having that, excuse me for the having that glass right there, holding it in. So I went back to my little storage area and found more of the India inks that I could play with, because I was liking the effect and I wanted to get some variation on all of the different sections, because there's a lot of little splits that I've done on my design. So I'm going in now with a purple, and it's called Violet, and these are Dr. Martens Bombay inks. Now that purple is dark, and I didn't get the magenta one thinking that it would be too close to the alcohol ink, but if I combine those two again with the colors that I have, I think I would get more of a red violet. But it's an experiment, so we'll just see what comes out once it dries. It's drying a lot lighter than it looks there, so yeah, India inks and alcohol inks are just things that I don't play with too often, and recently I've been experimenting with them and exploring, and I'm liking the effects that I'm getting with the things that I'm using it for. So I've had them for a while, and I keep reaching out for them now and playing with them, and super happy about that. Really like that royal blue color, and it's just called blue. That center reminds me of Joan Miro, with his primary colors and simple cutout shapes. It just kind of reminds me of that one now that I'm looking at it on video. So now I go back in with alcohol inks again towards the edge. I'm kind of mirroring the top part And now I'm going to use the tangerine. I never got that one to focus, so that's why I cut it out. And I didn't want to get you all dizzy with the blurred image, so but you get to see it here. I really like how the India inks are working with this. So that's another type of thing that I can work with again. I just have to find where my little acetate pieces are. And I thought I had a lot of packaging saved from before, but I guess I got so tired of having piles of everything everywhere that I think I might have thrown a whole bunch out. And now that I need them, I don't have them. But I know I have acetate somewhere. I just don't know where I put it when I was arranging and rearranging. And I still need to rearrange. Don't we all do that? We keep changing things up to make them work better for us, or to try to find ways to organize things that are more friendly to the way we're working every time we change our styles or our interests. Okay, so now I gave it a couple hours to dry. I'm not gonna wait until tomorrow so it's fully dry, because I will be getting back from work very late and won't have the light. So I decided to finish up the video by sharing how it's looking after a couple of hours of drying. I'm going to use this white paper to give you a better view of the colors. And yeah, they're looking super interesting. The alcohol inks are more of like a frosted kind of old glass type of look. And yeah, Rosa was left me a comment on on the previous video saying that it looks kind of like that effect when you use a liquid glass. But that's the kind of effect that I'm seeing with the alcohol ink against the India ink, which is more of a solid glass color look. And just in case you didn't see the video that I shared before, this is what I used to create the lead looking divisions on my stained glass wannabe. Those are the writers that I used. And I forgot to mention that I used white India ink in the eye area. I was talking over while I was sharing that part of the video, and I didn't mention that. And I also used the violet for the center of the eye. Instead of going to get a black, I used the dark violet for that center. And this is how it looks, with the light shining through and with white behind it. And it's okay to test out on some of your leftover pieces from packaging. So that's what it looks like. See you soon. Thanks for your visits and hope you liked it. Bye bye. Besitos.